Welcome again to Sage's Retreat, the home of jabs to the gaming world, a swift cross to the film industry, and a nifty uppercut to the wife when dinner isn't ready on time. Probably going to regret that one. Also, we definitely don't advocate any violence to loved ones. Don't go beating up your husbands, wives, whatever's around, really. Today, as per usual, I'm with Nathan.
Hello.
Hiya. First of all, I apologise for last week's cast because it didn't actually happen. We were busy doing stuff and it just went out the window. We thought it might happen, but it didn't, so yeah, that's what it is. But we're here now, that's what counts. Today we do have a new segment where we find out what happened approximately this date times, kind of like more aimed around this area of the month. So if it's the 1st, but it happens on the 7th or whatever, we'd still include it. But we're going to be looking back quite a few years. So ideally, more than 20 years, so we can kind of reminisce. Also, I think once you're looking at 20 years, you're looking at a more retro sort of environment. If it's 10 years, people go, oh, I still play that. But when you're looking at 20 years, I think it'll be interesting. And we've picked a game, and we've also got a film which came out 20 years ago, and both of them I thought were quite interesting. I've got a cold, a terrible cold, so let's excuse my slightly bunged up voice. A little bit different, but I'll try and drag myself through it. I think if I was at work today, it would have been a case of phoning in sick. This morning, I felt like death. Didn't sleep. Whole body was aching. I actually felt awful. Like, I haven't felt that bad in a while. Typical, though, as a guy. Not ill very often, but when we are ill, we do suffer, don't we, Nathan?
Yeah, it's terribly. I know the joke with man flu, but I think it's just worse for me.
I've heard it. I've heard they said there was some science behind it as well about, women are ill all the time, just get used to it, and then men aren't ill very often, and when they do, it just knocks them out. And I'm going to go with that.
Yep.
A little bit illness,
that sounds
but
fair.
It is 100%. Start off with what we've been up to. How are you doing?
Not very good, actually.
Health-wise, you look healthy.
Well, health-wise, I'm fine. Yeah, I'm just tired from work always.
Yep, as always.
Yeah, that's what happens when you go to half 4. All the time.
Yeah.
But
it's like having a new baby, isn't it, in the house?
It is, but it's me that's banging around and making loads of noise and waking the other children up. That's what that is. It's a terrible time, which you already know about, seeing as I message you like 5 times a day to update you on the situation.
Yeah.
Bought a new PC.
A shiny PC. You've been looking forward to this
PC.
For a long time. You've been umming and ahhing. You were gonna build one from parts, but we had a chat and we realised that your best option, and you came to this conclusion, obviously, the best option was to buy off the shelf.
Yep.
And you've gone with pre-built because you can get graphics cards and prices aren't too bad really at the moment. Yeah. I think the market, in terms of, you can fully customise buying your own, but with a pre-built, at the moment, I think it's probably the best option, mainly because of the graphics card sort of situation. But yeah, you chose a very reputable online supplier, which I recommended to you ages ago. You actually bought your son's stuff from there, didn't you?
Yeah, we got. I got all his PC kit and parts, and everything worked fine.
And there was no problem. I've only had one issue with the keyboard, and like I say, they don't make the keyboard, so they just, it's just like going to Asda and buying something and it not working, you take it back or whatever. But I know you've got a bit of story, haven't you?
Yeah, I paid for Saturday delivery because obviously I work in the week. So it come, all excited, Christmas morning, ready to open it, got here, opened it, plugged it in, didn't work, and they don't have customer service on a Saturday. So I spent 2 whole days, which I didn't sleep or didn't get anything else done, troubleshooting and trying to fix the PC.
Yeah, we like to fix things, don't we?
Yeah. That's what being a PC game is all about.
It is.
Like you overcome these problems and these trials.
Being delivered as well, delivered PCs are notorious for having a component that jostles out of place, or the graphics card could come loose. Often they don't even come with the graphic cards plugged in. They're separate because they can move around so much. Yeah. But so you had a bit of a poke about, didn't you?
Yeah, well, I rebuilt it twice to see if anything had moved or if anything had not been plugged in right.
He didn't. I know that you didn't take it fully apart. You just took
it. No. I took the graphics card off, other than the motherboard.
Other than the CPU, you didn't take the CPU out.
No, I'm not taking the CPU out. Just the RAM, the graphics card, the whatever plate thing is and that, and try to look behind everything and make sure everything were plugged in.
Could have been a wire that was loose, or
well, I troubleshooted every sort of thing it could be. I thought I'd fixed it a couple of times. It turned out I didn't. So I just had to send it back, and it got sent back last Friday. So it'll be 2 weeks this Friday, even.
Yeah. It's gone quick, actually. That has. I mean, not maybe. Well, for me, maybe not for you.
Not for me. Not when I'm checking for my emails every day. They said 3 to 5 days I should get it back, and it's been over that. So I phoned them. Was it yesterday or the day before?
I want to say it was yesterday, Monday.
Yeah. I can't remember what day it is. So I phoned them, and I got told it was the GPU that's faulty, which I knew it was I knew it was a hardware problem because I couldn't fix it.
The graphics card was basically broken.
Yep, and that's not what you want in anything, because it just makes it not work.
You don't want any broken parts, do you?
No, but that's probably the most expensive part in the PC.
It was the most important for you as a gamer, definitely. I mean, if it was something else, stick a RAM, it wouldn't have been such a big deal, would it? But the fact it was the graphics card, and you've definitely not been struggling, but you've made do with a gaming PC that you bought a few years ago, and it's performed very well. But you were ready for that next step. I'll be ready. I was thinking this year, but I think being off work has kind of cut into finances. So I think I'm looking at next year. I'm hopefully be getting something new. But even then, I'm not in a rush. I think there's too much pressure on getting the latest and greatest. You were ready, but there's a lot of pressure for that, getting the latest and greatest. And it's all very well having, the latest card. A lot of people say RTX is a waste of time, although I think it can look very nice. I think it might look nicer in some games than others. The lighting solutions that a lot of games have still look very good. And my computer is chugging away perfectly fine. I know that it'll easily last me another year. You see, I'm one of these person. I strive for frames. I strive for the most frames. As long as I'm getting my 60 for the most part, I'm fine. And I also, out of a habit of not being able to afford for many years, not being able to afford a really good gaming PC. So I've trained myself. It's now a habit that when I have a game, I'll set it to high to see how it works. Let's just say high is the highest setting. I'll set it to high, see how it goes, and then if I'm thinking to myself, get a few more frames, I'll knock down that, and I'll compare it, and I'll go, well, if I can't tell the difference, why bother having those extra settings? And I'll just chop it down. As long as my resolution's up to my screen, I'll cut all sorts down. I'll go full. I'll go medium. I'll go everything on medium, and as long as it's running fine and looking good, as long as I'm happy with it, then I'll just roll with it. And a lot of people do that, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's part of what the PC gaming scene is about. It's not always about. I know there's that joke about the PC Master Race. It's not always about having the best hardware. It's making do with what you've got, using it to the best of its ability, and being happy with it. Even at the end of the PlayStation 4's life cycle, there was games that were running at 24 frames a second. And it's like even a mid-range PC was smashing the PlayStation 4 to bits. And a lot of console players don't see it. But as someone that knows of console players that have bought PCs, even a mid-range PC, and just gone, oh my god, it's so much better, just to have that ability. But so where's your PC at the moment? I'm assuming it's arrived. It's there.
No, still not got it. So, and I've got no word on it. I got when I phoned, they told me it should be here. Oh no, it was Friday I phoned.
Are you sure?
Yeah, it was Friday.
Oh, because you said yesterday you'd still not heard.
Yeah,
that was right. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, so it was Friday, and I got told Monday, Tuesday I would hear from them to tell me, because they've not officially told me it was GPU. It's just the customer service rep told me that. So they said I should hear something by the end of today, which was 5 o'clock for them, and I've not heard anything. So tomorrow I'm going to phone, and I'm going to ask what the hell's going on.
It's time. I think it's time now to just put your foot down a tiny bit. Not to the extent of what the hell are you doing? But just, I've given you lots of time now. I need to know when it's coming. This wasn't something that cost a $5. Do you know that you ran out of stock? This is something that you said you'd fix and sort me out, and I'm ready to get it now.
I mean, if there's supposed to be a lot of people that know what they're doing with computers, and you know how easy it is to switch a graphics card out. It's like it's literally 2 screws, and then you're pulling it off, putting a new one in, tighten it up, and boot it up, and then you can test that it works.
You get 5 minutes. You can turn a PC off, take it out, swap it out. Within a minute, you're up and running, and you can check it, can't you?
Yeah. So I would expect it to have been done by now. So I'm going to phone them, and I'm going to see if they can't give me a specific time or a definite date. I'm just going to cancel and then ask them to rebuy it, because it would have been faster for me to send this back and to buy a new one with that refunded money, and then I would have got it sooner than waiting around for them to fix it.
That's what get me. How come it takes this long to fix and send back? Whereas, I mean, I don't want it fixing. I just want a new one. I'm just like, that was broke. You give me one that works, and you can do what you want with that one. But
let them fix it and then resell it, because it's not even being properly used or anything.
They'll probably have to have it as like pre-owned or something. They'll probably end up losing money on it.
Yeah. But so they should be a bit better with the testing before they send something out, I think.
Yeah. It sounds like you've had a fun week.
Yeah, I got all excited for my PC, and then I'm not being able to use it for like 3 weeks, 2 weeks. Whatever.
Yeah, it's a bit crap, isn't it?
It is.
My week's just been full of ill children, and so Holly brought a cold home from somewhere. I'm assuming school.
They're buggers for that, kids. They're always doing stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of used to it. It's been happening for the last 20 years, so it's not something I'm complaining about. But she brought it out, and then who had it next? I think Karina had it. Paige, Jack, Amy's the last one. I got it just before Amy, and then we're all just like walking around going, So it's we'll survive. That's about the extent of my week. Actually, it's not been the most gaming wise. There's Odyssey, which we'll mention in a little bit. That's pretty much me done, I think.
Yep. Well, I've got. I know you've got some gaming news. I've got one piece of gaming news, which I think will tie in with something we're going to talk about in a bit, but I'll mention it now, and then we can bring that up later.
Yep.
There's been a new survey by Lenovo, and it shows that 59% of women hide their gender while gaming to avoid harassment. And 77% of women admit to dealing with some form of harassment while doing it.
It does not surprise me at all.
Yeah, that seems. I mean, we've had Sam on before, aren't we? Talking about
Sam,
experiences.
Sam, who's a long-time gamer and online as well. She's played quite a lot, and she had a few things to say about that. It's a toxic environment because it's anonymous. It's like being at school. Yeah. Because school isn't anonymous, but when you're at school, it's just full of idiots who say what they want, and there's no repercussions. And it's a little bit like that on gaming when you've got your voice involved. You see it. I've watched videos before of like a female gamer, and there should be no such thing as a female gamer. You're just a gamer. You just play games, don't you? Whereas let's say they're playing Call of Duty, or something, it has to be something that's more male-dominated. So something like a Call of Duty, or like maybe a FIFA, or just something that's more. I don't know. There's a lot more guys that play shooter games in there, I think, than women.
Well, that you know of. This is obviously part of the conversation.
Yeah. But I'll say that there's a lot more active and vocal male players, and I've played and I've had death comms on when you kill someone and they're like, oh man, and they're just like, they're saying the little thing or they swear at you or whatever, and it's always funny, but you never hear a woman's voice. And I'd love to be able to jump in to play a game and it be a mix of different people, and it doesn't, saying that, it's like if there's a group of gamers that hear a woman's voice, they just react to it, don't they? Get back in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Go away, get away. They think it's like they're inferior. And I'm like, do these I mean, clearly they don't have girlfriends. I'm assuming or are they doing it just for the laughs with the mates? Because in no way is it funny. It must put them off playing. It must. But then again, that's why they hide themselves, isn't it? That's why they hide.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't even like to hazard a guess how many games we've played together over the years, how many hours worth, and I can only think of one time we've come across a woman while we've been playing
Sea of Thieves.
Which was Sea of Thieves, and the amount of stuff we've done in the amount of games, and then that is literally. I mean, I know it says 59% of women hide the gender or whatever while they're gaming.
I reckon it's higher.
Yeah, I would say that's a lot higher. I mean, 1% would make themselves known. I would say I would do it closer to that for the amount of time
I think
spent in games.
I imagine a lot of the female gamers spend time with other female gamers or with groups that they know aren't toxic, so it'll be friends or like Karina plays with. She plays Warzone. She plays with me, or we've obviously we've all played together, haven't we, as well?
Yeah.
And she just plays away, and she kills plenty of people. And I imagine they would be very angry if they knew it was a female that had a kill gamer that had killed them, especially one that was in her 30s. I think that would be. I think she needs to make it known. I think she needs to change her username to 30-year-old woman.
Yeah, just to rub some salt in the wound.
Has killed you, lol.
Yeah,
that. And I think that would be good. That's an interesting bit of news. I think it's a lot more. I think it's a wider topic.
Mm-hmm. We've got something to talk about later, haven't we? That sort of ties into it.
Have we?
The Twitch.
Oh yeah. We'll roll on to that in a minute. Got any more news you've
I've got some film news for once.
News.
Now cinemas are opening. We can talk about films again.
Oh, I've seen some people go to the cinema. Yes, and enjoy it apparently, which is forgot what cinema is.
Yeah, I know. I need to go back. Well, I've got everybody's favourite blockbusting nerd, Henry Cavill, who everybody loves. He's in talks. I think it's more than talks.
I know this news. Yeah. Go on.
For the Highlander reboot.
Does it need a reboot?
Yeah. Well, I would.
I literally watched Highlander last week. I'll be honest.
I love Highlander 1. It's so good.
It is so good. I mean, you only need Highlander 1 because it actually kind of finishes itself. It's fine.
Yeah.
You could have Highlander 1 and just be like, that's good. But it actually spawned like a TV show. Something like 25 other films. I don't know why
there's an anime. There's even an anime for that.
Oh, is there an anime? So it's clearly popular. And I actually love the storyline, about there's these dudes with swords and, there will be only one and all that. And Mr. Krabs was obviously in the first film as well, wasn't he? He played the bad guy. Sister Karina, you know who that is? She's like, it's the bad guy. And I'm like, it's Mr. Krabs. It's a brilliant film. And I think it's aged very well. I'll... just put that out there. I think I watch it and don't think to myself, oh god, it's old. It's also got Sean Connery in it, one of the most legendary actors that's ever lived. Anyone that's had a conversation with their grandparents would definitely at some point had the conversation of which Bond is your favourite, and it would have been either Roger Moore or Sean Connery, and it's like a 50-50. I mean, I think Sean Connery was a lot more suave and Roger Moore was a bit more rugged. For me, the best Bond is the current Bond, whose name's Daniel Craig. I think he is.
I think he's the best Bond.
I do. Yeah. I think the redo of Casino Royale that he made was amazing.
I had this discussion the other day with Ben because he's never watched it, and I told him to watch that because that is one of the greatest films ever made. Ignore it being a Bond film. Right, if you don't like James Bond,
I think you should.
Royale is
I like
so
to consider it as a Bond film.
Yeah, if you're a fan of James Bond, watch that film because I think that's the best Bond, right? And if you're not a fan of James Bond, ignore that it's a Bond film and watch it, and you will still love it because
it's amazing.
The baddie in it's so good. The premise.
Oh, is it Le Chiffre, that one? Is it Le Chiffre?
Yeah, it's Le Chiffre. Yeah. It's so good. It's Hannibal in it.
It is. I can't remember his name. Yeah. I'm going to find out his name. But everything about it, the storyline, just
the visuals, the way it's shot, just everything.
Mads Mikkelsen is his name.
Yeah,
he's an amazing actor as well. He's in the Avengers films as well, isn't he? He plays the Doctor Strange. He plays like the bad guy in that.
I can't remember his name in that.
Great actor, great film, and I love James Bond. And I think it's one of my favourite Bond films. Is it my favourite? I don't know if it's my favourite, but I think if I had a look at some of the other ones, I was a big fan of like Man with a Golden Gun as an older Bond film, but as a modern Bond film, that's really good. Skyfall is really good as well.
I love
Skyfall. It's only just under Casino Royale. Quantum of Solace is a turd. I think I don't know what happened with that film. Rubbish. But I need to watch Skyfall again now. I've mentioned it. I need to watch it again. Brilliant film.
What was is Skyfall the newest one? Was that or was the one after that? Goldfinger is the. Is it Goldfinger who's the badder?
Let me have a quick look.
No, it's not. Skyfall's not. It's Judy. Spoilers, but Judi Dench dies. Spectre's the newest one. Yeah.
So because Die Another Day was 2002, and that's the one with Pierce Brosnan. I didn't like him as a Bond actually.
No,
although I did like GoldenEye as a film. But I don't remember Die Another Day. World Is Not Enough. Tomorrow Never Dies. But I do remember GoldenEye. Casino Royale 2006. Quantum of Solace 2008. Skyfall 2012. Brilliant. And then it was Spectre, which came out, which I think was also okay. But I can't remember it off the top of my head. Like
it was okay. It was just okay, that one.
Yeah. No Time to Die is coming out this year. Well, maybe.
Yeah, it's been coming out for the last 2 years, hasn't it? So,
No Time to Die. Yeah, I'm looking for information on that, but not really much point. Good James Bond. Good James Bond.
Yeah.
You got anything else?
I've got 2 pieces of film news, but I'm going to brush over one because it's making me feel a little bit sick. Fast and the Furious 9 comes out on 24th of June.
Do you know what? I like the Fast and Furious films because they are a film in the way that Warzone is a game. You can watch it and never watch it again. I think the first one's a classic. I think the first one is a very good film, and I like the Tokyo Drift one just because of the Japanese aesthetic. And
the main character plays like a 17-year-old, but he's like 45 or something. He's like balding. It don't make any sense.
Yeah, but I mean, I did enjoy the first one, and it's like, new Furious film. It's like, I'll watch it.
The first one is very watchable. I will say
it's a good film, and it's now it came out like 2000, 2001, something like that. It's old now, and I think it's definitely like a cool classic now because it's got its own little sort of racing genre that, and I think people look back at it quite fondly. I've no issues with Fast and Furious, only in the sense that they're all a little bit repetitive. And I feel like they've strained away from their roots a little bit. But I'll watch him, and I'll enjoy it. But then I won't watch it again.
Yeah, I feel the same, but in a different way. I think it's a throwaway film that you can, once you've watched once, you never watch it again. In the same sense that you would use toilet roll once and then never use it again. So that's the way I feel about it.
That's fair enough.
I really don't like them films.
It's fair enough. That's fair enough.
Next one then, moving swiftly on. I know this is a film that you only watched a few years ago, the original, the first one, and I don't think you were a fan, if I remember correctly. But the Hocus Pocus 2, all the original cast is confirmed to now be on board, and they start shooting in autumn.
I think I was watching it when I think Karina was watching it, but I don't really remember it, and I don't really have any interest in it. I think it's a film that just slipped me by. It's like one of those, like when you say to someone, "Have you seen this film?" and they go, "No," and you look at them and you go, "What?" It's like people say it to me, and I just can't remember it.
Yeah,
but I remember it being good. Like people said it was good.
Yeah, I like it. We watch it. I wouldn't say not every year, but every couple of years. The kids enjoy watching it, and I think the cast is pretty good, and it's not too fun as a film, but it's all right. It's a decent watch for a Disney film, for like a live action Disney 90s film.
Yeah,
it's worth a watch. It's fine by me.
Yeah, that's interesting. So I've got just a couple of bits of news which I thought was quite good. One of them is based around a very popular game. Adam, you love this game, I know you do. Euro Truck Simulator 2. And I don't know if you've got American Truck Simulator, but Euro Truck Simulator 2, you got a lot of hours in it. You do enjoy playing that. So basically, you pick up your cargo, you drive along, drop it off, you create your own firm, you buy trucks, upgrade your trucks, etc., etc. It's like very simple. Graphically, it's relatively easy to look at. It's had mod support for various things for years, including multiplayer support. However, official multiplayer support is coming to it, and I thought that was very good news, because a lot of people don't like messing about with mods. A lot of people struggle with mods, and if they're going to support it officially, then I think that's a win for the community. Even maybe a win for people that enjoy it but like to play with other people but can't play with other people because, like, say, they don't like messing around with mods. So like myself, who I have played it a couple of hours and I didn't hate it, but if someone turned around and said, I really like to play that game, would you play for a few hours for me? And I'd be like, you know what, I will, because I can.
How would they implement that? Is that like a someone sat in the cab with you, or?
So I went through the article that I came across, and it doesn't really explain how they're going to do it in terms of implementation in the game, but it did. I can imagine that you'd be able to have your own firm, build up money, maybe even there'd be competition with other firms, etc. I don't know. Maybe you can have bigger cargo. Okay, I just exploded with a sneeze there. Muted that one, so you didn't get that. Yeah, I think it's good. I think it's and it's up to 8 players as well, which I thought was quite interesting. So it's not just going to be a co-op thing. Maybe there'll be like Mario Kart, and you'll be able to like shoot the other player.
Chuck banana skins out of thing and skid the trucks off road. Yeah, I like the sound of that.
It's good. Yeah. Now, something that's quite close to not my heart. So it doesn't sound quite right, but something I have an opinion about, quite vocal about. We've spoken about this before. Is on Twitch there is something called a hot tub streamer. Now, Twitch is a place for gamers, and it should stay that way. I'm quite strict in that way of looking at it. I think that it was made by gamers, for the entertainment of playing different games, you know. But there's recently a section, a couple of years ago, wasn't it, that came out called Just Chatting. I have no issue with that. Initially I did, and I'm like, you know what, whatever. Because there might be someone that plays a lot of games and has got a good connection with the crowd, and they might just want to talk for an hour. Some of them will talk for an hour before they play the game, so they go from just chatting over to playing the game. It's like a warm-up, if you like, to get, see what's happening, get on with it. But Just Chatting then turned into, what was it, eating food, mukbang, or whatever it's called, eating. That's weird, sorry, that's weird, stop it. Then it developed into this ASMR thing where they like go to the mic and they're like, hello, I'm at the microphone. And I'm like, what are you doing? Stop it, it's just creepy, it's weird, stop it, I don't like it. So hot tub streamers, there's a lot of rules with Twitch in terms of what you can wear, what you can show. There's many streamers have been stopped. If they wore like a low cut top, they would have been told, you shouldn't be doing that. Men aren't allowed to be topless on Twitch. I know, I'm aware of that rule. But so these hot tub streamers, they're in a little pool or a jacuzzi, like a kiddie pool or like a jacuzzi, and they'll be in a bikini, and they'll just be talking. And I'm like, it's just like low bar porn. It's something that shouldn't be on Twitch. If I go on Twitch and I'm like, I'm just going to look through, see what's popular, who is on the most popular stream right now. What, if a new game comes out, there'll be one of the top 10 streamers or one of the ones that I like, and they'll be playing it. And I'm thinking to myself, I might watch them for half an hour, see what they're doing. They have a good opinion, good community. You go and watch it. Oh no, the top 2 streams at the moment are a couple of, I nearly said horrible words then. Or a couple of women in bikinis writing donations. Oh, Simp 2000 donated to me. I'll write it on my arm. Look at that. And it's like, you just, I get it. You know what? As a business model, it's solid because they've come on here. There's these little boys that play the games all day, and they're like, oh, it's a woman and she's not wearing many clothes, and I can talk to her. And Twitch I think they've realised that there's a lot of backlash now. They have created a new section called Hot Tub, Pools and Beaches. So if you are a hot tub streamer, you now have to go in there. There's no just chatting in your bikini. You have to go over to there. If you're not in there, you won't be anywhere. You have to be there. And funnily enough, well, there's two things. Well, I'll wait. The funnily enough can wait a second. The one of the most popular female streamers who's been doing this recently had all sponsorship taken off her. Because they often get a lot of the gamers get sponsored by, like, I don't know, Astro headsets or Razer or whatever, and they turn around and they're like, you know what, we're not giving you any money anymore because you're just some kind of hoe. Do you know what I mean? And it's not what we're trying to push. They want to be all about female positivity, and that's not about being half naked on Twitch. That's exploitation of also there's a lot of kids on Twitch. There's a lot of young'uns on there, and some of these angles that they're at, they're not. It's not just a case of I'm in a bikini. It's I'm moving around and they're gyrating or whatever on the blow up banana or whatever on earth they're doing. That's not even a joke, by the way. I saw one on a giant blow up banana, and it's like it's just provocative towards these.
There's one that when you subscribe to her, she's got a bikini on and she's big fake boobs, and she'll go thanks every time someone subscribes. How is that not sort of sexually suggested that she's jiggling a boobs back and forth?
Look at me jiggling. Look at me jiggling. To be fair, this I can do that. No one wants. Well, no, I don't think no one's going to pay to see me jiggle, but
that's why you need to insert a Twitch thing pop up saying so and so subscribe. Simp 2000 subscribe to you. Then
Simp 2000. Yeah, it's ridiculous. However, on a funnier note, there's a stream of otters that are in like a pool. And they've been top ranked on this section for quite a while. They keep popping up there because people like to watch stuff like that, and I think they've been going on. I think it's just like a cam for a zoo or something, and people have been watching this otters. Hence the title today: Hot Tubs, Otters, and Trucks. I thought the otters deserve a mention. I'm very.
It's good because it sort of sticks a finger up to it as well. Doesn't it is.
It's like saying, you know what? Go somewhere else. There's other channels to do. There's other websites to do this sort of stuff on. Just go over there. Go and do that. Yeah. We have. Sorry, go on.
Do you know if it's age restricted then the hot tub area, or is
the problem with putting an age barrier on these things is all you do is click I'm over 18.
Yeah, but should they have to have put some credit card details in or something, that would prove their age?
You think so? If there's a way to do it, then I think they should be doing it. They should implement it. But I have a feeling that there's not a way to do it. Who knows? If they can do it, I think they should do it.
Yeah, definitely.
I think it will affect their revenue, and I think maybe they'll eventually fade away, which is a good thing. So on to our new segment, which I've named Back in Time. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
So this week we're going to have a look at 2001, which was a fair while ago now. I want to say it feels like yesterday. Can you remember all the... Well, jumping back 1 year to 2000, can you remember all the... 1999. You remember all the hype about your video player not working and your clock blowing up?
Yeah, my pager not working, my fax machine breaking.
I had a pager.
I didn't.
I had a pager, and Karina used to contact me on a pager.
Yeah.
I was a black one. I got it for 50 quid off someone, I think, who was selling it. So this week we look at 2001. My oldest daughter was nearly 1, and I was around about 21, I think. The film choice today came out May 18th. It's a very well, I will tell you what it is in a second. It's a very well-rated film, 90% an audience score on Rotten Tomatoes, with 250,000 ratings. So everyday people have been like, that is a really good film, and it's like up to 90%. It features. I'll do the next fact, but then I'll say what it is. It features, of course, the great Mike Myers of Wayne's World fame, which I love. Wayne's World. Wayne's World 2 is good, but Wayne's World 1, amazing. And who can forget also Austin Powers? There's a little snippet of a fact there, but this film, of course, is, say it, go for it.
It would be Get Out of My Swamp, Shrek.
Shrek.
Yeah.
When I look back and I saw it with Shrek, I was like, oh, Shrek came out this month. Wow. If you'd have said that was 20 years old, I would have said, no, it's like 10 years old. Like, out of obviously sheer stupidity, but the fact is I didn't realise it was 20 years old. It's 15, yeah, I would have accepted 15, but not that much. So originally, it was Chris Farley. Now, not a lot of people might know Chris Farley, but he's an American comedian who did various things. I don't really have a lot of information about Chris Farley. What I do know, he was very popular, and there was some tragedy behind him. He was quite overweight. He recorded, and this is your fact, Nathan, 80 to 90% of the script for he was voicing Shrek, but he died, and then it went over to Mike Myers, who and you have some interesting information about this, don't you?
Yeah, Mike Myers, being the Joker that he is, decided he wanted to do it in a Scottish accent. That's why Shrek's got a Scottish accent.
Which is always odd. Like, there's this monster in a swamp, and he's Scottish.
And his best mate Donkey's clearly American as well, so it didn't make much sense, but then it's Shrek, so it's fine.
It's not supposed to, is it, really?
Yeah. And because he showed off so much for this Scottish accent, he said he's not going to do it without doing the Scottish accent. So they obviously wanted him to do it. The film was coming to when it was supposed to be released and everything. So he did it, but doing that pushed the budget up another $10 million because they had to go back and change all the mouth movements to reflect the Scottish accent. So imagine how much a star you'd have to be. I mean, he's not a star so much now.
How much different is the mouth movement of a Scottish person to an English person? Surely it can't be that much.
Yeah, I think the way he enunciates the words is quite animated and like...
I think that's what it is, isn't it? I think it's not the word, it's the way he's lengthening out the word or saying stuff quickly. And Mike Myers is one for his showmanship, isn't he, with it?
Yeah.
But yeah, Shrek. Eddie Murphy was, of course, Donkey, and some critics say that it was the performance of his career. And you noted as well that you added this on, didn't you? It brought him back into popularity after his 90s slump. I didn't think about this at the time, but when you mention it, it seems like, oh yeah, because there was a period where you didn't really see Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
Massive in the 80s. Early 90s, had a few bits and bobs out, but then he just kind of dwindled off, didn't he? But I think he's not don't really see much at the moment. Recently I saw him in Coming to America 2, which had some good elements, but overall was nowhere near as good as the first one. Budget of 60 million. It made at the box office, so obviously this doesn't include VHS and DVD sales, would it? And even and all the rest of it. So it made
toys and video games as well.
Of course, there was. In fact, I've got a Shrek Monopoly. Quick facts. So it made 487 million from a budget of 60 million. That's pretty decent. I don't know what in terms of Hollywood, but I think that's pretty decent. Did you know as well that it was from a book originally?
I vaguely remember something about it, but I've never actually seen the book or read the book or anything. I
thought Mike Myers had created it and wrote it and starred in it. I thought it was all him, but it wasn't. Also someone very famous was offered it originally. Is he more famous than Mike Myers?
Now he is. They both took a career path that's dwindled recently.
I think they're very similar in terms of fame. maybe for different reasons. But yeah, Nicolas Cage was offered it, but turned it down because he didn't want to look like an ogre, because he thought people would associate him with Shrek.
Yeah. It's weird. Didn't he do Superman as well? Because he got cancelled. He were penned to be the Superman, weren't
There's even there's photos of him in the Superman outfit, and it suits him. He looks good in it because he's got that kind of like tall, manly sort of figure, isn't he? He's got a good male figure for that kind of Superman. Maybe a bit thinner, but in his prime he was a good size. So yeah, that's our film. We'll have to see what film we can find next week. Maybe it'll be something. I do know what game we've got for next week. But this week, have you ever played this game?
I have played this game actually.
Did you play the original game? The original Red.
Yeah.
I'm trying not to mention the name straight away.
Yeah, and I played the 360 version and not the newest one, maybe.
Right.
The newest.
The notable game for this, not for this year, but the year we've chosen, but for more or less like the month, was Red Faction, which came out on May 22nd. Came out on PS2, Windows, and slightly later for Macintosh. And also, Terry will be pleased to know that he actually came out on Engage. Now, Terry had an Engage, didn't he? Did he have Red Faction?
He loves an Engage.
He does. Did he have Red Faction? We'll have to find out. Terry, if you're listening to this, and I'm not going to ask you, but if you're listening to this, you need to comment down below.
Yep.
It had a good score on Metacritic. It was 88 out of 100. Obviously, people say don't trust Metacritic, but it's what I'm using right now for this. 88 out of 100. That's pretty decent. I think that would be classed as a success. It had something different, of course. Do you remember what it was?
It was the blow everything up.
Yeah.
Sort of destroy stuff.
What did they call it? What was the tech? It had a special name.
That would be a geomod tech.
Geomod. What an amazing... Just saying that, I instantly think to myself, I'm going to be able to wreck everything, move stuff around, and I'm going to be able to knock a mountain down. But yeah, geomod tech allowed the player to destroy the environment and alter the terrain. And it was one of those unique... Has it been done before? I don't know. I'm not going to look into it.
No, it wasn't. They led that. They made that into what it is now. They pioneered that.
Right. Okay. And it was one of the things that made it popular, wasn't it? Like,
yeah.
I did come across some information that said it was a bog standard kind of game, but the geomod, the addition of the geomod, is something that really added to it. And often a game can be very generic, apart from the one aspect of it which really pushes it forward. Like Mortal Kombat, would it have been as popular without the blood? Maybe not. Maybe not, because it was very similar to a game called Pit Fighter, and there was a few others as well. The plot was basically you're a dude on Mars fighting a big corporation and doing some mining and whatnot. And when I remember playing that and thinking, well, you know what, this feels like Total Recall.
Yeah.
I didn't play a lot of the first. I didn't play a lot of the second. However, the one that was called Red Faction Guerrilla was the one that I played all the way through. I completed that, and I think personally that was the one where they mastered it. It felt just amazing. I have a lot of fond memories of playing that game. It was very enjoyable.
Was that the 360 one?
I think it was. It was. I'm trying to think what I had it on. PlayStation 360. Because at one point I did have some PlayStations. I think it was on 360 that I had it. Come to think of it, brilliant game. And then there was one after that, Armageddon. I don't know if there's a new one come out. I don't know if they're doing it anymore. But Red Faction, 2001. Right, you can lead the next bit. That's our section done on that one. You can go for the next bit.
Right. So we mentioned it a little bit first. Well, Lee did, about us playing Odyssey, because Odyssey came out, and we've done a little bit of talking on it, and we have now had a chance to play it. I said try it. We tried to play it because there's some issues with it.
We tried to play it together more than anything. It's like have we done all the things that we can do in it? No, I wouldn't even say we've done 10% of what you can do. But have we tried to do some of those things? Yeah, I mean, but like immediately, so talking about Odyssey, what comes to mind?
The idea of it is exciting and want me to get it, but the execution of it, because of the way it stumbled, it's making me not want to play it because I don't want to be disappointed. So I'm a little disappointed, but not by the content, by the execution of the content, if you know what I mean. So it's the server issues, it's the graphical bugs, it's the just the frustration behind stuff. I think
what good stuff are we looking at the moment that we've sort of seen and experienced?
Walking around the station, beautiful. I love it.
It changes it, doesn't it?
Full new dimension to that game.
It feels actually a little bit like a different game.
Yeah.
It feels like this is like Elite Dangerous 2. And I think that's the thing, isn't it? It's like it's the new it's that step forward that they needed. And admittedly at the moment it's not looking best, but good stuff. Yeah, walking to a station. So there's a few. You obviously got the ground-based stations, the bigger, like the Coriolis type station, and you've got those little ones, the little outpost stations. They're all different to walk in. They're not significantly different that you kind of be like, oh, I can definitely tell what it is.
Yeah.
But they are different. They have different NPCs in. They have different colour schemes. They are different enough that I'm satisfied. I've seen a lot of people complain and say they need to be more unique, but I'm like, there's thousands of these stations out there, and if you were, because clearly it looks like the same company that's building these Coriolis stations, you wouldn't be like, oh, we need 25 different types of station in there. They need one that works, that fits in that little hole there.
Yeah.
And they've got it and it's in. But I do want them to be unique in some way. Each one doesn't have to be different. That's not my issue. But I want to see. So if you go to like the Empire, I would like to see them be pristine and be like the internal of a cutter. So you go in there and it's kind of white. It's got some like metallic highlights on it, and they're a bit stricter. I don't know. Something about them needs to be. I want to go into a station and immediately go, this is an Empire station. I know it is. Then I want to also be able to go into a station and be like, this is, this one's like in a pirate system. There's something about this, it's a bit, maybe they have something in them which is a bit different,
Just a bit grubby or like sort of
a bit knackered.
Litter or something on floor. Like,
although there is that one character that's always standing on that note, sitting down, they've got their foot on that piece of paper that's on the floor. Walking around is great. The weapons, when we played the tutorial bit at the beginning, and I enjoyed that a lot. Yeah. Genuinely, I was like, oh my word, it is not perfect, but it is what I needed. And I know, I'm pretty sure you feel the same about all these good things that we've seen. But how about what bad? What is the big bad stuff which is like?
This is the stuff that's stopping me playing.
Which is you like we'd be like, oh, let's go on, and then you immediately think to yourself, yeah, but, and then go for it.
Yeah, the thing is there a hotfix out? Is there an update out?
There was one like yesterday, by the way. Just saying.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to give it another go and see if we can get on, because I can't remember what it was called, teal or teak cobra or something. Taupe, that were it. Taupe Cobra was the error code thing. We just kept getting that all the time.
I've seen at least 4 different ones. Like
we would desyncing all the time. There were issues with seeing each other. We'd have to log out, log back in, and then
we'd have to fly away from the planet. Terry was the one that Terry sort of sussed that one out, didn't he? He's like, let's fly away, come back, and then you kind of like. And I'm sorry, but we have our own private like servers, don't we? So it's like a private session. So I'll go on my private session. Nathan will go on my private session. There's only 2 of us. I'm going to keep saying this, in my session. So why is it that I cannot see you?
It should be one instance, just one.
Yeah, what is that? Because you're in my session, in my like server, but you're walking around. You're like, I'm here, and I'm like, I can't see you. And it's like, oh, come on. I mean, I'm not a games developer. I get it, and it's easy to go, know what you're on about. I don't. But I do know that I would like to be able to see the other player. It feels like a very basic thing.
Yeah.
Even in Star Citizen, we could always see each other.
Yeah.
And I don't like saying that. I feel like I'm giving it praise where it doesn't.
Doesn't deserve it.
Feel it deserves. For at the moment, the only thing Star Citizen has for me is it has some wicked looking ships, which are arguably better than the elite ones. I like the big stations. So going on to stations, I would like to see the engineer stations, because there's only, I don't know, 20, 30, whatever. I would like to see them to be unique.
Fully unique, I think.
Yes,
they need to be
fully unique, and have a bar, a hub where you can go in as well, because I'm sure they would. You know, so why not? You've got these, let's say 20, 30 engineer locations, which they've already got unique environments anyway. So why not give them a unique internal? It doesn't have to be too drastic, but it just has to be different. And also, I would like to see, is it Jameson Memorial, the big one?
Yeah.
I would like to see that to be different as well. You go there, I want to know that I'm there. I want to be going in and going, yeah, I earned this. I put in my hours to get to the station. So why is it the same? And also, it's not a big environment which has to be different. It's only that hub, isn't it? It's only that concourse that you're walking into, and you're going to be like, wow, this is different. It has some interesting. Maybe it has NPCs that only give jobs out to elites. You could be like, oh, you're an elite, and even triple elite. Maybe there should be something special for you guys because you're out there. I'm not triple. I'm not willing to put out the effort into combat right now, but maybe this should be like, oh, this dude's triple elite. I'm gonna. I got a good job for you. You're special, and it'll give you more money, or it'll give you some. It maybe access to certain weapons, or just anything, something. I think it's very close. I think they need to sort out the connections. They need to sort out the servers. The instancing is terrible. At one point, you had got in my ship, came over, somehow disconnected, ended up in space. I flew out the station and actually flew my ship into you and killed you, which was great.
There's no gameplay for that. There's no EVA, is there? There's no flying around in space. But
I think they're going to bring it in, aren't they?
Yeah, maybe that's some sort of placeholder. Because I was sort of like
clearly the physical model is able to get into space. We've seen it because I flew into you and, like I say, bumped you off the front of my ship. Yeah. So maybe it'll be a case of like I'd love to see a Coriolis that's been attacked, that's disabled, and you can EVA out to it. Maybe access the outside. Maybe fix it. Do something. I think it's coming. It's going to be coming. Overall experience, I'll say, is good, but it needs maybe it just needs 6 months. I'm fine. I'm fine with that. I'm fine. If someone says, if the developers turn around and say to me, you know what, 6 months time, I think we'll. I don't want a promise of a week. I don't want a promise of a month. I want a realistic promise of 6 months, 1 year. We will have it sorted. We had to get it out a little bit earlier. And there's a lot of people knocking it big time, saying it's like a massive failure. It's not a massive failure. I think there's going to be, I reckon the grind for the suit upgrades might be something that we hate. But there's always grind in that game. Anything else you wanted to add about Odyssey?
I had the weird graphical bug, so I've not been able to see it in its full glory yet.
Of course, it's like the wireframes and the textures weren't loading in properly, were they?
So it's like if you've ever seen any of the videos, I can't remember who makes them, but they do demakes. So they're like Witcher 3 or something. They'll make it into a PlayStation 1 game. It looked like I was playing Elite demade, which was weird because it was only certain textures like lifts or crates or something, or pistons on the wall where
that massive
the landing pad.
When you're going into the hangar, that massive piston,
that just looked awful. It was so low res, but then other textures were perfect, and all the NPCs were perfect. So it was strange. It must some graphical bug that's causing it to do that. So
I know that even if you've got a decent system, that FPS tanked.
Yeah. So
if you were getting 60, you're now getting 40. It's that kind of a a hit, and that's not a little hit. That's a big hit. That's a big hit. Some people don't notice it, and that's fine. But if I'm getting lower than, let's say, if I'm used to playing 60, if I'm losing those 10 frames, at some point I'm gonna notice it. But it's like the smoothness goes away. Horizons plays amazingly well. Barely any issues. But going into Odyssey, it's like, okay, this is a bit jittery. This is. People are having to turn settings down, which I've done on some of mine. I've turned some of mine off, and I'm noticing the difference in the game. And I'm not the only one, and it's happening to people with, like I say, high-spec PCs as well. So sort your shit out, Frontier. Give us the game that we've paid for, and we'll all be happy. I think that we'll do it.
Yeah.
Hopefully. Right, for a bit of fun. For a bit of fun, for a quick end, 10 minutes. We haven't done one for a while. So we have got a little tier maker. I'm going to switch over. If you're watching the YouTube video, I've now switched over to a new view. Something very close to our hearts as Englishmen. I'm saying Englishmen specific because we are looking at the English breakfast. I'm going to very quickly list everything that's in the English breakfast. We have bacon, beans, black pudding, coffee, tea, fried bread. Would you go for fried bread? Would you call it fried bread?
It's fried bread.
Because we've got toast over there, so fried bread. We've got fried eggs, mushrooms, hash browns, poached eggs, sausages, scrambled egg, toast, and last but not least, we have fried tomatoes. A lot of people have tinned tomatoes, but we'll just say tomatoes that have been softened and cooked in some way. A traditional way is to grill them, grill them, but we've got it there. Can you see the tier maker in front of you?
I can.
Right. We are going to rate these. S has to be on your plate. D is going to be, if it's not there, I don't care. Or it shouldn't even be there. We're just going to go for S, A, B, C, D, and we're not going to have any specific kind of like bin it or best thing ever. But we're going to... Now, okay, so does this apply to you as well, Nathan? Do you eat bacon?
No.
Okay, do you eat sausages?
No.
Right.
Only if they're vegetarian.
So myself, we're going to ruin this for a lot of you. Myself and Nathan are both, to different levels and variations, we are vegetarian. However, I have eaten a lot of bacon in my life. I have eaten a lot of sausages in my life. And I'm going to apply my mentality to the vegetarian versions, which I include, whether it be the Quorn bacon or some of the other ones which we've had. I'm going to be just going for... my memories of bacon go from meat to veg, and I assume the same for you as well, Nathan. Yeah. So for your... I'll go for the first one. If you can see the order, it goes bacon, beans, black pudding. The first one, bacon. For me, I am going to have to put bacon straight away, S tier. It has to be, whether it was meat or veg, it has to be on my very top. I don't eat bacon for any other meal, really. For me, it's a very breakfast. Even if you have a bacon and egg cob, it still feels like you're eating a breakfast. So for me, I'm S for that. Without bacon on my breakfast, I feel I'm missing something. How do you feel about bacon?
I would have that as an A because I've already got an S, which I think makes the meal for me. Okay,
well...
And it's not bacon.
It's going to stay at an S. There's always a point, because we do adjust these. It can go down if we feel it's...
Keep it as S. That can be RS.
Yeah, okay. I mean, well, I have... Okay. Yeah, actually, no, I'm going to say that would be one of the main ones for me. How do you feel about beans?
I would put that in B. I do like them on there, but if there wasn't, I wouldn't be too bothered. But I'd make a really nice beans for a fry up. So.
It's not an S. It's an A or a B. I'll sit it in B for the moment. I feel like it needs like an in between, but we'll sit it in B. If for some reason I didn't have beans on my breakfast, I could probably live with that. But for me, it adds that moisture that a lot of the other items don't have.
Yeah.
If you were to have all these other items, you wouldn't have any moisture.
Yeah.
But this adds that. It's what you dip your toast in at the end. It's what you
Yeah.
use. So I think I've just made a good argument. I think it needs to go in A.
Go put it in A.
Yeah, not in S, but we'll sit it in A. Black pudding.
Get it in D.
Yeah,
even when I ate meat, I never ate that.
Absolutely disgusting. So I know of somebody that has eaten cold black pudding, not even cooked. I have ate it before. Probably it was about 18 years ago the last time I had black pudding. And even then, it was disgusting. Never again will I touch that. Coffee.
That's got to be an A for me.
Yeah, I agree.
I have to have a cup of coffee with it.
I agree. Without a coffee, it's like... if I didn't have a coffee, I'd have an orange juice. If I was at a hotel. Yeah. But I'll have both, actually. But
yeah, I was going to say I'd have both.
Yeah, both. But for me, a coffee is an A. Do you drink tea?
No, that could go D for me. I do drink it, but I'm
going to say, how would you feel about putting it as a C? Like, D would be not to ever see it. But if I didn't have a coffee...
if we'd ran out of coffee...
Yeah, I could cope as a C, as in I'm not a big fan, but if it was there, I'd have it. Fried bread. So this is, if no one knows what this is a slice of bread. Now, there's lots of different ways to do it, but one way would be to butter it, put it on a lightly oiled frying pan, do both sides, and that is enough of a fried bread that anyone's until it's crispy. That would be justified as a fried bread, but there's various ways. Some people have a lot of oil, make it very crispy, but I prefer it so it's kind of like toast, but crispy but buttery. How do you feel about fried bread?
When I make a fry up, I never make fried bread, but that's not because I don't like it. It's just I never think to make it. If it went in D, I wouldn't mind because I don't have it on. But if it went in another one, I also wouldn't mind. It's just not something that I make.
I feel it can sit very happily in B because if I didn't have it, I'd be okay. But I do like it.
Yeah.
But I do like it.
I do like fried bread. It's just I don't know why we never make it. I always have toasted over fried bread.
Yeah, so I think as a rule, toast, but then fried bread if anyone can be bothered to make it because it takes a bit longer. So we've got 3 lots of eggs. In fact, you know what? We're going to do all the eggs at once. We'll do fried, then poached, and then scrambled. Would you like to discuss eggs?
Yes, I am a massive fan of eggs, and fried egg goes in S for me. It doesn't feel like a fried breakfast.
Okay,
like full English.
I can agree. Would you replace it with a poached then?
No, because I do like poached egg, but I prefer poached egg singular on a piece of toast, maybe with some avocado or something, as a separate sort of thing. I would always choose a fried egg for a fried breakfast over any other egg.
Where would you like to sit the poached?
I mean, if you was having it, not as if. I mean, it depends what we're doing because this is an English breakfast tier list. The way I was looking at it was that it's what I would have in my fry up. I would happily eat.
That's fine. It's about us. It's definitely about us.
Yeah. It could go for a B because if I got it replaced, I would be a bit disappointed, but I wouldn't refuse to eat it.
Yes.
I could put it in a B.
Yeah, I've left it in B. I think that's a good place. I think that's definitely a good place. The next egg, the third egg.
I had a bad experience with scrambled egg when I was little.
What on earth does that mean?
Right. My grandmother made me. I stayed at her house. I can't remember how old I was. Probably 9 or something.
A bad experience with scrambled eggs that involves your grandmother is just getting ridiculous. Go on.
Yeah, right. I don't like. It's just one of my little qualms. I don't like food to touch, specifically beans and eggs. Right. Because of this incident. Right. She made like a sort of mug of scrambled egg and beans, like sort of mixed up together.
What?
And it turned my stomach and I could not eat it. And I didn't eat beans for, I want to say 10 years after that. I didn't eat beans until my 20s.
Someone was like, would you like some beans? You're like, bleh.
No, I just could not eat them. I love them now. I'll eat them all the time. And I love scrambled egg. But scrambled egg for me goes on toast. It goes with nothing else. And I would not have it on a fry-up. I wouldn't even eat it for breakfast. It's more like a lunch sort of thing I would have. So I would put that in a C, scrambled egg. Okay,
so I'm a big fan of fried eggs. Poached, I'm not in or there, But if I have to choose, I would have it in B, but I'm happy to put it in C because I'm not really bothered when it comes to a fry-up breakfast, English-style breakfast. I think that eggs can sit in C because it has to be a fried egg. It has to be cooked so that the yolk is slightly runny, but all the white has to be cooked. If you give me an egg and the white is still runny, I will not even touch that plate.
No, you can't have snot. You can't have egg snot on a fried egg.
Exactly. So I've been to a very popular restaurant/pub destination quite a few times. We won't say the name. And if I go there, I now have to tell them that to make sure my egg is cooked. Like, even if it ends up being overly done, it's better than have it. Now, a skilled person can create a fried egg. That is... The way to do it is to have a pan with a lot of oil.
Yeah.
So, and then what you do is you kind of flick the oil onto the egg. And then what it does, it sits, because the hot oil will cook that white. But
I get a spoon and spoon it on me.
That's exactly the same, yeah. Or, near the end of its cooking, if you still see a bit white, flip the egg for a few seconds and then flip it back. Because it will create a seal over the yolk, but it will still be fresh underneath. Yeah. Kind of like a fried poached egg.
I think I don't know if it's 2 or 3 times now, when we've met up, we've had fry-ups as well, which were weird.
Yeah.
We always have a fry-up, and we always kick off about egg, and we always like, I want that fried egg, I don't want it runny, I don't want no snot, just get it done.
It's a tradition now, it's our tradition. What do you think about mushrooms?
I absolutely fucking love mushrooms.
Okay,
I had to swear for that one.
Okay.
It's an A for me, mushrooms.
I think they're okay if they're cooked well. And
I cook them very well.
Okay, it's like scrambled egg. I make... I'm no reference to my wife's ability to make it. I can make the best scrambled egg.
Yeah, I make better than my wife.
It's like... I don't know what it is. I think it's one of the only things out of all this here, which is like a science. When it comes to the eggs, you have to be like, I need the right amount of milk. I need to... So you can microwave... You can do a very good microwave scrambled egg, but you can also do a very good one on the pan, as long as it doesn't stick. But yeah, you can frying pan, a saucepan for eggs, or you can do it. I actually like to microwave eggs because I feel like I have more control. If you leave scrambled egg slightly too long, it will dry up and turn into these weird little cardboard blobs that nobody likes. But you microwave it, you put let's say 2 eggs, put it in, minute, whisk it up. It's starting to harden around the edge, whisk it up, back in, do it like 30 seconds, see what state it's in, another 30, and often you're done. That's your eggs done. You need to get it when it's puffed up, when it starts to puff up, then break it down, and then it's perfect. So we'll sit it in. So mushrooms. Sorry, back to mushrooms. If they're too oily, I don't like them. You have a nice butter. Make sure you don't use too much. Bit of salt and pepper. Jobs look good. But yeah, nice mushroom is nice on a breakfast. The next one. What is that? That is a hash brown. Do you have hash brown with your breakfast?
Oh, I've just hit my microphone. Yes, I do. I always like that because I feel as though, because there's lots of sort of proteiny parts of the meal, that's your carbohydrate. Yeah. Like, I know the beans and the toasties, but I do like an hash brown.
Me too. Nice and crispy on the outside.
Yeah.
Soft on the inside. A fresh hash brown is a thing of beauty. Yep. But when it's been sitting there for a few minutes, it's very hard to legitimately warm up a hash brown. So, but yeah, a fresh hash brown is amazing. So I think that's an A. Are you happy with an A?
Yeah. That's what I've preempted into here.
The next item is a meat item, but we obviously have the veggie ones, and I think there's a lot of very, very nice vegetarian sausages. I'm sorry that they look like a sausage. It's just, that's life. Live with it, meat eaters. Live with it. For me, a sausage is I'm looking at the sausage and at the bacon, and I'm trying to think, does it knock down my bacon?
No.
Right.
I would say it's an A sausage.
What I'll say is, I think that a meat bacon is an S, a veggie bacon is an A, and I think a veggie sausage is better than a veggie bacon. But I'm going to go off just in general what I like and the fact that I've had. So so many good breakfasts with meat bacon. I'm going to say that I agree with you, and that the sausage is an A.
Mm-hmm.
Toast.
I have to have toast.
Is it an A? Does it just straight an A?
Well, I've got it in a B, but I like to dip my beans in it.
Yeah.
And so I would.
Beans and toast go well together, don't they?
Yeah, they really do. I put my mushrooms in my beans as well. I actually add them to the beans.
Food stuff isn't allowed to touch. You said that a minute ago.
No, eggs and beans. If I add it as an ingredient, it's allowed to touch. But if it's not, I don't like them to touch. I have to make a little. Out of the sausages, I make a little barrier between the beans and the egg. But for toast, I do like toast on a fried breakfast because I like to dip it in beans. So probably A.
A sounds good, and go for the last one. The last item. Now, there might not be every single English breakfast item, but I think it covers pretty much the most of it. But I will, before you mention it, my wife likes to do tinned tomatoes and have them on a breakfast. I think that's like not all households do that, but yeah, tinned tomatoes on a breakfast. That's the only thing for here that's probably missing. But yeah, the last item.
Yeah, Jade never has. She doesn't like tinned tomatoes on a breakfast. Okay. I like beans and tomatoes on a breakfast.
I'm like mostly beans, a little bit of tomatoes.
Yeah. You want a lot more beans than you would tomatoes. But I do like a fried tomato as well. But they're not. It's not an important part of the meal. If I didn't have them, I wouldn't miss them.
No.
But if they're on there, I do like them on there. So I'm happy for C for that.
C, not a B. I like them.
I do like them, but it's same with tea. I would have them in place of something else if I couldn't have it, or if it was on there. I'll put it in a B, in fact, because we've got poached egg and fried bread. As if it was on there, I'd eat it, but I wouldn't go out of my way to have it. So that's what I feel about a tomato.
Yeah, I think a decently cooked tomato is quite nice. I think if you get the best way to do a tomato is to grill it. You can put it in a pan as a last resort. But I think the best way is to grill them. Right, you could microwave it to soften it, and then put it on a grill, salt and pepper on the top, just leave it there. Make sure it obviously doesn't burn. Leave it there, and it will be beautiful. So if anyone manages to have if you got this far for a start, thank you. 1 hour and 20 minutes. If you got this far, give us an opinion on this breakfast list. Bacon and eggs has to be on. I think everyone will agree with that.
Yeah,
everyone agree with that. Beans, coffee, mushrooms. I think mushrooms is one that people might not like.
Yeah,
and I can tell you now that tea and coffee will be swapped with some people. But the one thing that deserves to go in the bin is black pudding.
Yeah,
this ridiculous item. If you don't know what black pudding is, look it up. It's like congealed blood that's got like all sorts of crap in it, and then it's stirred up, and then it's just this manky turd that people slice up, and then it's gross. It's disgusting. It's horrible. Pretty sure my granddad. In fact, I'm pretty sure everyone's granddad used to eat it on their breakfast. I'm quite happy with that. You happy with that?
Yep. We've said that black pudding's disgusting, and that's all that needed to be said, really.
Yeah, I'm happy with it.
Delicious.
Everything. Everything on there could have just gone on an A. As long as black pudding was on the bottom, I didn't really care.
That is an abomination, that black pudding, and no, it's a big fat no from me. It's a big fat and blood-filled sausage no from me.
Blood-filled sausage, misses. Yeah.
But yeah, that's. I think that's about it then, isn't it?
I think we're done. So, that's good. I've enjoyed our little chat today. I like our new section. Yeah. I think our little flashback section there.
Yeah.
I think that's a nice addition.
It is. It's been fun looking back over the last 20 years to see what we're happening, and trying to remember that I was 15 at the time, so that went good. Because it's been a long time.
It's round the corner.
Yeah, just yesterday.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks for joining us today. As Elite drawn its last hopeful breath. I hope not, but how bad does Adam need multiplayer for Truck Simulator, which he's going to have to write in comments to tell us about that. And does Shrek deserve that much praise? I think it does, because I really like Shrek.
Yeah, it's a good film.
Yeah, it's a good film. And I've been Nathan as always, and
And I've been Lee. Yeah, join us next week to see what got released in the year we pick, and hopefully I've ditched this cold. I'll see you later, folks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to us today. You can find us on Spotify, Google Podcasts, and various other platforms. Not to forget, of course, YouTube. Myself and Nathan also do weekly Twitch streams. Find us at ShaggyDog79 and LordShade86, respectively. We're always looking for new people to connect with, so give us both a follow, if that's your sort of thing.